Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Teresa. I do videos on whatever I want because I don't like putting myself in a box. And you're gonna have to excuse the hair today. We we are very frizzy today. If you know anything about having naturally curly hair, it does whatever it wants when it wants. I'm totally gonna have to fix this before I go to my read through this afternoon. Um, I literally got it out of its pineapple that it was in last night, a few hours ago, and it just seems like it's doing its own thing over here. So I'm definitely gonna have to fix that a little bit. But yeah, I don't know why it's looking like super crazy, especially like over here. I thought I used enough gel in it last night, but I don't know. Yeah, curly hair does whatever it wants when it wants. So, anyways, I thought today I would give you guys a quick update from the doctors that I had the appointment on Wednesday, and then kind of talk about 5 things that I've learned since moving out of my hometown um, over a year ago now, which is crazy to say. I can't believe it's been that long. So, let's get right into it. So, I went to see my doctor on Wednesday, like I said, the 7th, and that was the follow-up for my weight loss. So, for those who are new here, I've been on a weight loss journey really since February of 2023. Been doing that with the help of medication, of Fentamin, and then we added topiramate to the mix. And so from February of 2023 to December of 2023, I lost 58 pounds, and then I gained some back since beginning of last year to October of last year, 2025. I gained 20 pounds back, and I've been working that off. Thankfully, I actually lost 10 pounds. So that's good. When I weighed in at the doctor's on Friday, I actually clinically lost 8 pounds. I did tell my doctor that I actually lost 10 pounds according to the scale at home. Interesting enough, I was 157 at the doctor's, and usually the doctor's scale adds like 3 pounds. So I would have been like 154. However, I do believe I did have um, soup the night before going to the doctor's. So that sodium buildup definitely could have added like an extra pound, well, extra 2 pounds. So yeah, going back from what I tracked, I was down to like 152 on that Saturday, the 3rd. And then I didn't weigh myself right before going to the doctor, and so I was like, "I'll just figure it out mathematically, whenever I am at the doctor," and so because I went right away in the morning, I did have to eat just because of how my schedule was that day, um, so yeah, and maybe that could be a part of it too, um, so yeah, which I normally wouldn't do. I usually do not eat right before going to see the doctor, especially for weight loss reasons. If it's a weight loss check-in, but I had to because of how my schedule was that day. So, yeah. Um, but with all that said, everything's going good, losing the weight. Um, she did tell me that Wegovy is coming out with a pill form, and that might be more cost effective. So in 3 months, we will reevaluate and see what we end up doing because after this next 3 months, I have to take a break from the Fenterman, and excuse me, and we are going to kind of see what's next. I know we have had multiple conversations about doing like an injectable, which personally for me This drives me absolutely insane. It's like one straight strand with all of these curls. But anyways, personally for me, I was never comfortable with the idea of doing an injectable, um, mainly because of like having to poke myself, and also because a lot of the injectables are really geared towards people with diabetes and like lowering blood sugar. Um, and so I wasn't really comfortable with that idea. And also just like cost wise, and because insurance never covers them. So we have kind of like thrown that to the wayside. But with them coming out with a pill form, then it's definitely more of an option. So we'll see what like cost would be for that. And if it comes out, you know, by then in 3 months, then maybe that'll be an option. And so, yeah, we've been playing with the idea for a while. And so we'll see. I'm more open to the idea of doing an injectable now. And I did ask her afterwards of like, how is that going to affect like blood sugars? And she did tell me that you don't see like a drastic drop in blood sugars for somebody who is healthy and like non-diabetic. So that's up in the air right now. So that's kind of the update on that. As far as the fentanyl possibly being too strong because it's really suppressing the appetite, and I did tell her about like having like a borderline eating disorder type of situation. She did say that I can do it in half. I can half the pill. I do need to check in on with her about like when to take it because I know you would take like the one half in the morning, and then I don't know if you would take the other half at lunch. So I just need to check with her on the timing because she didn't put it in the clinic note. So that's all of that. And then let's get into the things that I learned um, since moving out because that'll take up the rest of the video. So, so the first thing that I've learned since moving out of my hometown, I moved out a year ago, the day after Christmas. So it was kind of crazy to literally move out that day, um, and then to be in my hometown that day, like a year, not a year ago, but like this in 2025, in 2025, because it was actually a really good day and Christmas was actually really hard for me um recently. So it was just kind of crazy to be like, oh yeah, like I moved out a year ago and now like I'm in my hometown. I'm doing Christmas. I'm actually having a better day than Christmas was, and that day was actually feeling more like Christmas to me. So, yeah. So the first thing I learned is really what goes hand in hand with Christmas, I feel like, which is the people who truly love, care, and support me. So here's the thing, like, since graduating high school, like, everybody was going off in their own direction. I come from a small rural town, and everybody was literally graduating high school, immediately getting pregnant, having kids, and getting married, and I literally was not doing that. I literally went off, got my 2-year degree in my hometown, and then took, like, a semester off, and then got my other degree. I got my 4-year degree after that, and I did that online. And so, yeah, like, and then I had a lot of falling out with, like, friends from my hometown, and so, eventually, by the time I moved out, there wasn't a lot of people in my hometown, and so that really had an effect on me, and it was really, like, interesting. It was just, like, an interesting experience, and then I've always had, like, issues with people in my family, and Since moving here, I've really found, like, what it means to have true friends, what it means to have people, like, show up for you, really learning, like, why it's so important to have friendships and stuff that go 2 ways, I feel like, and yeah, like, I found that here. I found really good, supportive people and just people who really, like, love me unconditionally and who care about me, and yeah, like, I don't know. It's just been beautiful and different and lovely, like, and that's what I can say about it. So, yeah. Okay, I'm really sorry, guys. I might be messing with my hair a lot in this video. I promise I'm not nervous. It's just curly hair problems. Continuing on, having a job that forces you to drive everywhere is actually a benefit and one way to impress your very critical mother. So I was saying when I was like job searching and stuff was I'm not going to take a job that is forcing me to drive everywhere. However, that has been very beneficial because when my parents come to town, or even if I have somebody visiting from out of town, I offer them to drive. Like I offer to drive them around because I do that for a living. Um, and every time my mom comes to town, she's always very impressed that I know how to get around town. And I'm like, literally, like, that's all I do for a living is drive around town. And so, yeah, like, she's always, like, impressed by it. And then I always kind of throw back at her. I'm like, well, this town doesn't change as much as my hometown does. I literally, oh my God, I went back to my hometown for Christmas, right? And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go see where the new, like, Taco Bell is." And I was like, "Okay, I can just go straight across the road to across to Walmart and then, like, take this road, and that seems like where it's showing up on the map. Easy peasy." No, the freaking road changed. And then all of a sudden, at the stoplight, I was, like, almost in the middle of the intersection, and of course, it was icy, and excuse me, few little hiccups there. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm driving my mom's car because I flew in to a town that was out an hour away, and I didn't have my car, which had my state license plates on it." And I was like, "This is great." Um, yeah, and of course, everybody, like, knows who I am because everybody knows everybody in that town, and I can't even be like, "Sorry, guys, I'm not from here," because I actually am. So, yeah. Like, everything's always changing in that town, especially roads. So I can't even, like for me, like, it's my disability that affect my ability to, like, navigate, like, roads and stuff like that. Um, but also, it's the fault of my hometown for constantly changing, like, the roads and stuff like that. So, because we had the oil boom in whatever, 2012 or something like that. And then so they were like adding on to the town and changing everything. So in my defense, it's not all fully my disability. It's also because of just the hometown. So here everything's really consistent. And when they add on, they just add on. It seems like they're not changing the roads. So just saying. Anyways, that's my rant for the day. To kind of piggyback off of that, having a job that is very community based is also beneficial because then you learn what's going on throughout the community and you learn like where are the free events and when are those events and that sort of thing. Um, and that was really helpful when I like first moved here. Um, and a lot of my clients really helped out with that as well because they were like, "Oh my gosh, you have to check out this store or this place," because they do a lot of these fun things and stuff like that. Now, granted, I have to help a lot of my clients find like the free events and stuff, because that's part of my job and stuff. But like also just like having my coworkers who are locals, um, that's a benefit right there as well too. So yeah, that's always a good thing. So let's see. Oh, number 4. Yes, making friends outside of work can be hard, but you have to take the plunge and do things alone while being safe. So I know people like struggle with this. I really don't have a problem making friends at work for some reason. Um, I don't want to talk too much like on that, not unfortunately, but um, I just don't want to come off as like cocky or anything like that. Uh, Talking about like my friends at work and stuff like that. Uh, because I tend to talk to like everybody at work and whatever, but like one of the things too, like with my job is like we work kind of alone, but then like in the office, I feel like I very much try to like talk to everybody because it can be kind of isolating. But yeah, I had somebody the first time I went back home ask, like, do you have friends, at work and stuff? And then she ended up explaining to me how, like, they see each other for 8 hours of the day you know, she was explaining her one job. And she was like, we really see each other 8 hours of the day. So then it was like, we really don't need to like see each other outside of work. And that's kind of exactly how work is for us. Like, we see each other 8 hours of the day. And because of the nature of, like, if we do see each other 8 hours of the day, um, like if we get our clients to meet up or whatever, then it's like we don't really need to hang out outside of work because then our nature the nature of our job is to take them to like go bowling or like go to the zoo or like something like that. So then like we are hanging out like on the job kind of situation. But finding like friends outside of work, that was a challenge. And so just kind of like taking the plunge and to go do things alone was really scary. Um because especially for me, like I would go places where technically like most of the clients or my coworkers like never went because I would go to theaters. Um and then like I joined an adult ballet class, which is something that like nobody else does in the office. So like that was scary, but like I don't regret any of that. Um at all. And I actually have my first read through for the play that I'm in today at 2 o'clock, and I'm so excited to like see everybody and meet everybody. Um, and yeah, like I'm so excited for it. And like joining my ballet class, I have no regrets about that. I literally gave my ballet teacher a Christmas gift slash, I guess, a birthday gift because her birthday was the day before on Tuesday. Um, and then I told her about the play I'm in, and she wants to come see me in it as well. And I'm just so grateful for that. And if I hadn't like searched out this, ballet company, and signed up and like did all of that by myself, like, you know, and if I wouldn't had done the same thing with like this audition or whatever, or at least had everybody that I met tell me to go to this um performing arts place, then I wouldn't have taken the chance to audition and stuff. So, yeah. And the last thing is having to figure things out on your own slash problem solve. Personally, for me, I do kind of have the benefit of my job because my job is to work with people with disabilities to like live independently. And so we do things, we're supposed to do things like in their home, but a lot of it tends to be like community based. However, depending on the client, you do certain things in their home and then you do kind of problem solve anything that kind of comes up. And so um, sometimes those things end up coming in play in your own life. And so, like, once I couldn't do my laundry at my apartment because we had something going on with the laundry, like the washer thing. And then I never had to go to a laundromat at all in my life. And I was like, wait a minute, I literally do that weekly with clients of mine. And so like I knew how to do that. Um, so that was super nice. If my fridge ever goes out and my apartment people can't really get anybody to go and like fix it right away or whatever, I now know of like an alternative that can help with that situation, or I can problem solve through that because I had to do it for my job, kind of thing. Um, there's certain things though that like I'll have to do kind of on my own and problem solve. Like when I had surgery on my feet and I couldn't walk, having to problem solve that. Kind of like getting that help if something like that happens, a big medical thing happens and I can't really help myself because I'm having a medical thing going on. Or like right now, I have two lights above my kitchen table, like a chandelier thing that are out. And even if I like stand up on my table because I'm really short, I can't change those light bulbs. And then I think the one light over above the kitchen sink is out as well. And yeah, if I stand up there, I still can't reach it. So I'm gonna have to problem solve how to like switch out light bulbs around here as well. And so I mean right now we're going through a switch in property companies or whatever, new ownership. So once that all gets settled, then I'll figure that out. But yeah. So there's things like that. I probably also have to put new batteries in the like smoke alarm as well. But I'm even standing on um, the stepping stool that I have. I'm also probably way too short to actually reach that. So again, problem solving that I have to figure out with that as well. So there's little things like that that I also have to like figure out. But it's good. It's good figuring out. And then I also put a bonus in here. Um, that's very kind of specific. That just says, as someone with a disability, I have a lot more resources where I can reach out for help. This also goes for healthcare. So when I was having voc rehab assistance in my hometown, they really didn't do much for me. I literally just didn't have a lot of help from them. The only thing they really did for me was advocate for my allergy shots because I had an employer try to deny me the right to go in weekly and do my allergy shots when I was doing the build-up phase and I had just started my allergy shots. Like I agreed to do the allergy shots in December and this was like beginning of 2023. So I would have like seen the allergist in 2024, like that December of 2024. and then would have just started allergy shots in 2023. And I would have gotten the job in February of 2023. Excuse me. And so there's a build-up phase to allergy shots if you don't know how they work. And so you need to build up to become like immune to your allergens, and then you can be on maintenance. And so to build up, you need to go in weekly, at least one time a week. If you want to do it 2 times a week, you can do that, but at least one time a week. And so my work schedule was 7:30 a.m. to like 4:15. I asked the nurse, like, how early do you do them and how late do you do them? She told me the earliest she did them was 7:30, and then the latest she does them is like 4 o'clock or like 3:30, I think. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was weekdays. So obviously that interfered with my work. And so I like told my job this, whatever, and only one person like had an issue with that, which is the like main boss person. And then I ended up telling like my Vogue rehab person this, and then they informed me that allergies are covered under ADA because which is Americans with Disability Act, because if you go into anaphylaxis, then obviously you can't do your job. um, so they got involved and started having conversations with the company. And yeah, and even though they got involved, that same person, being who they were, still was trying to deny me the right to go and do my shots. And yeah, which was just so annoying because, yeah. So that's kind of the only thing that I really got from Voc Rehab, which was really great because it was a medical thing and it was a medical need. But yeah, and everybody always took that 7:30 slot. But the thing is, you're set for a half an hour appointment, but by the time you're done, it's like an hour because you got to take into consideration like travel time, um, the time that it takes to, to be called, check in, called back for them to actually inject you with the serum, that 30-minute wait period, and then for you to leave and like travel back to work kind of stuff. So, yeah. And then yeah, that's kind of, I guess, why too I said like for healthcare, but I actually put down healthcare because of everything with like testing for my disability as well. Because otherwise, if I would have done all of that in my hometown, I would have had to travel, take time off of work if I had a job. If not, like I would have had to get my parents to like assist me as well, because I really wasn't traveling like on my own at that point, like out of town. So, yeah. So that's everything, you guys, that I kind of learned since moving out from my hometown. Short list, but a lot of explanation as per usual. And like I said, I'm really sorry that the hair is looking like this. I will fix it before I go to my read through today. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. I'm really excited where the next like 3 months will go to see what my doctor and I kind of decide as far as medication goes. Because I know the whole thing with Fentanyl was like I can't be on it forever. And with Wegovy coming out with like a pill form, I really hope that um it comes out like, you know, beginning of like April, um, and stuff. So we'll see. And we'll see honestly what the cost is, even out of pocket, like injectable form. And I'm hoping to like I can get finances in control and see you know, how all of that goes as well, because I don't have as many clients either that are going like out to eat anymore, that are doing like certain things either. Like, I literally took one to the arcade on Friday and I didn't even participate, which I know probably like looked weird to the workers, but I mean, I gotta be mindful of the income, you know? So, yeah. Um, and I definitely need to work on budgeting for myself. And yeah. So, anyways, with all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing week. And I will talk to you guys all later. I'm really trying to cut this intro short. Um, anyways, hit the subscribe button down below if you guys want to. I put and hit the bell for notifications. I post every single weekend. Hit the thumbs up button if you guys liked this video. It's a little all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and plan out like a week at a time now for videos, as I do have rehearsals that are going to be taking up a lot of time. I don't know what the rehearsal schedule is going to be like, for this play, but I'm going to try and plan ahead as much as I can. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an amazing week, and I will see you all next time. Bye. I love when I put my hand up here. You can't see my fingers. Interesting. Okay, sorry. Bye.